Welcome back to A Sweep's Life with us three people here at Chimney Bear. Today I am again with Andrey, our fearless leader, and Ben, the production team / man who answers the phone. And how are we doing today?
We're doing. We're here. We're alive.
Good. Yeah, everybody's good today.
Really good, yes.
Yeah.
We're all peachy.
Don't we all sound so excited to be here podcasting? So anyway, on that note, today we're going to talk about sweeps and inspections, why you need them, what are they, how often should you get them? Are we ready
Always ready
to sweep off? Nobody has a dad joke about?
Who are we sweeping off their feet today?
Oh, there you go. Dad joke created. Excellent work, friend. Well, so here at Chimney Bear, we oftentimes will do an inspection or we bundle them together and do a sweep and an inspection because, again, we are certified with the National Chimney Guild and required to do an inspection on every sweep.
Yeah, you want to do inspection every sweep. Sometimes you want to check it before you sweep it so you don't break stuff. So if there's any kind of issues with the flue, you don't want to be sweeping it where you could potentially
break something.
Oh, so you mean we can't just sweep it without inspecting it?
Well, I don't think sometimes you can because there's so much buildup / creosote you wouldn't be able to tell if the flue was safe to use unless you cleaned it.
So when someone calls you and wants a sweep only,
we go no. We say no. Our answer is no because you should never do that because usually that's for sales.
Why they're doing it, right?
Yeah.
Why they're calling it because they know there's an issue with their fireplace.
Or maybe they don't know there's an issue, but they don't want to know because they don't want to have to put it on their disclosure.
Exactly.
Ignorance is bliss.
Well, that says it all, doesn't it? Well, and we also don't want to call it cleaning, right? Because we can't clean your chimney. We're never going to get it clean. It's never going to be the way that it ever was at the beginning. So we can only sweep it to remove creosote and debris, but we can't always get rid of everything, even when we're sweeping it.
Yes.
There's quite a few customers who did complain or express their unhappiness with their firebox walls that they were not back to that fire brick color.
Fire brick color? What color is fire brick? That only happens never. If they want that, they should just get a prefabricated chimney, and then you can just take the panels out whenever you feel like it and replace them, and get a shiny new fireplace.
After every fire,
I'm like every fire.
Just recycle.
Yeah, no, maybe not.
If they had a Ben would get it clean.
No.
You could get that clean. Come on.
Yeah,
that's why you're not a chimney sweep because you're too much of a perfectionist.
You could get it clean, but then don't use it afterwards because it's got to stay clean.
You're not allowed.
It's a decorative fireplace.
Also,
or paint it black and use gas, right?
So that's true. You could paint it black, but then it's hard to see if your joints are coming. Or anyway, we regress.
We went from sweeping.
We got
nothing. Stuck in the firebox, guys. I'm
So,
sorry. Getting out of the firebox, going
You started the firebox.
Well, technically, you should start on the roof. Technically, so I mean, in our world, in our inspection world, that either means that you get a harness on, hook up.
Safety first.
Whatever hooking up is, that's as to the discretion.
Not like online hooking up.
No, not like scroll or swipe right or left.
This is not chimney sweeps speed dating. That's
correct.
Hard to say.
Chimney sweep. That could be a thing. Here we are giving people ideas that could make them millionaires.
I'm still going for the 5% as before, but whatever. We'll leave it alone.
Yeah.
Well, it's better to check it out from the top because you want to make sure the chimney is not falling over again, so you're not having your rods, either it's for sweeping or camera, potentially pushing in the chimney over.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, when you get up there, you definitely have a different perspective than you would down on the roof, and you can see all four sides of the chimney structure rather than just two. I mean, first of all, safety first. And if you're excellent safety people, you should be wearing a climbing helmet too, just to keep your noggin safe should you accidentally step off the roof.
Yes, we need all the smartness we can get and keep it in the industry.
You should also probably tie off your ladder. That's an important thing. So anyway, now that we've covered all of our OSHA bases, we will continue. So generally, we get up on the roof, and what are we looking for, like when we're up there, Andrey, being as you do inspections?
We look at the structure of the chimney, make sure everything is fine with it. The brick, siding, flashing, crown or chase cover, if that's the case. We always try to look down the flue and see what's going on. If there's any disconnects and if there's any chimney swifts in there or anything like that. Obviously, we take the measurements and things of that nature while we're up there. And that's where we find all the issues with water intrusion. You get it from flashing or siding issues, if that's the case. Or
that's the big one. I always tell people when like I'm explaining what we do is externally we are always checking for water issues, and I always tell people if you catch something early, it's easier to fix versus
easier as in cheaper.
As in cheaper, yes, because what does water do? You don't want to create yourself a Grand Canyon out of your fireplace.
Well, here's an interesting perspective on things. Chimneys leak into fireplaces, friends. They don't leak into your roof. So if you're having a leak in your roof, down your wall, whatever the situation is, it's not your chimney, even though roofers love to tell you it's your chimney. There's been tons of times that and Andre's looking at me like I have no idea what I'm talking about. What would you like to add to this situation?
I mean, technically, it is a chimney, like it's flashing, right? So if you have something that you see it in your attic or you see it on your wall or
negative, it's not. If the top of the chimney if it's your crown, like let's say we have a big gash in our fucking crown, that water is going down into the firebox. It's going down your chimney, washing out your mortar joints, and if your damper is open,
well then you should say crown, not the chimney.
Okay, well, sorry for that. Excuse me, but I'm not wrong. It goes into the fireplace.
If it's the crown, yes, most likely it will probably go down the flue or whatever double wall pipe or whatever the case it is, and it will end up in the fireplace or on top of the fireplace, like a smoke chamber or
damper. Rust out your damper for you so you can't open it. Anyway, so we get up there and we do digital inspection reports because we find that they're the best and easiest way for our customers to understand things. There's very few companies that do digital reporting. We've only seen like two other companies, one in Indiana and then Inspection Fire out in Colorado, I think, right? Most chimney companies in the Chicagoland area use doctors' pads to scribble on.
Their little carbon
copies.
copies.
And they just scribble some stuff on it that I can't even read and customers can't even
or
read.
Understand. Not that we're knocking the way that you do business, but we are in the 2020s.
Yeah, I mean it works better for the customer than it works for us. So when the inspection report gets back to us, we have everything in writing where we can read it because it's typed up and we can see the pictures. And if we have to ever bring up the inspection report from a year or two ago, we're not guessing what happened.
Comparison
we have
purposes.
Everything in that report, including the pictures, are inside the report so they can't get lost because they're actually attached to the report.
Plus, and we hate to say this, but our report is so detailed and has every measurement that you could possibly need. They could, in theory, send our inspection report to any company they chose, and that company should be able to provide them with an estimate without any questions because all of the information is provided.
Yeah, we have all the comments, all the measurements that are needed to do any kind of work for the chimney or the fireplace.
Yeah.
From the customer's perspective, I like that they actually get something that same day. So it's like, hey, I got this service, and I have kind of a proof or kind of a nice extensive receipt, so to say, versus just a one-page doctored up note.
Customer states.
Yes.
When the guys go over the report with them, the information, the pictures, it's mind-blowing to the customer because it's way too much information. They don't understand any of this chimney parts or anything like that. They kind of nod because they're like, okay. And then when we leave and their husband or wife comes home and they're like, actually, I know it's fucked up, but I don't really know it is because it's too much. But then they can take the verbal knowledge that our guys gave them and pair it up with the digital report. They can make more sense and have better understanding exactly what's going on with the chimney and why we're charging them a certain amount of money for a certain repair. So
I think we recently just started last week using a GoPro camera to do a roof chimney / walk around because it really does give the customer a different perspective, and we're explaining as we're looking at things in real time. So I think that that was a wise suggestion by one of our technicians to do that, because he used to work in the roofing industry, and that was when they would do the roof inspections, right?
Yeah, that's how they did it. It works really well. It's better perspective of the damages in the video than the picture. Just the video just shows it a lot more better.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like for example like crack sealant and flashing when you I've taken millions of pictures.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's not even bad, but then I'm looking with my eyes. It's like this looks like
there's a
it's
lot of
messed up.
times that our pictures don't show
And you look
everything.
The picture looks okay-ish, right? And it comes, oh, this doesn't look too bad, but then I said, well, it's actually worse in the picture. You're trying to prove to the customer versus in the video, you can actually see how bad it is. So they can say, oh, yeah, it is bad. I should actually pay money to fix this because this is an issue.
Not only that, but doesn't it help you with estimates, because you can actually like have your eyes on everything. Well, for everything, really.
Well, for everything. We have a better idea of the roof setup, what kind of scaffolding we need to do, or if we have to rent any equipment. It just gives me way better perspective.
And it gives you solid pricing that you can hand to your customer, and then you're not going back and forth, or you're not like, oh, it's going to cost X amount of dollars, and then you get there to do the repair and you start realizing that it's way worse than it was. And I mean, we've done lots of repairs off of other companies' pictures or I don't want to say inspection reports, because that's not what some inspection reports, especially in Indiana, but like the doctor's notes off of the paper with the pricing blacked out. And we also did at one time do repair work for another company who did not access the roof, did not have the technological ability that we did. And oftentimes when you would go to repair it, you would end up having to go and talk to those customers and say, like, hey, because they didn't get up on the roof, I didn't have all this information that I have now. And if I don't fix this while I'm here, I can't warranty this work, or it's going to cause you more problems going forward. So we're just lucky that those customers completely understood the situation after you showed them.
Yeah, they were very, very understanding people, and I explained everything and they understood.
Plus, they know it's not your fault because we've never been there. Like, we gave them information or pricing based on somebody else, not doing a full inspection that should be done.
Well, thank God those customers never asked us, do you need to come out? Because there are some customers that we didn't do work. They said, you sure? Do you want to come out?
But we've never run into that situation, because mostly that's just like masonry, tuck pointing, that kind of situation, not really internal work that. But so once the outside is all looked at, usually our technicians will come on down and speak with the customer about what's going on the outside. And, at that point, we always want to make sure water is stopped from getting into the house, the bare minimum. Yeah. That's like advice to anybody listening. Just make sure they get the water intrusion fixed, because that's where the real issues can be caused in the future.
Yeah. I mean, preferably if the work is not huge, you want to fix it that same visit. Obviously, if you have enough time on the schedule.
Absolutely.
Many reasons for that.
We want to always make sure that, the customer is comfortable with everything that we do, and we want to make sure we always do the right and best thing for the customer.
Of course, yeah, because they forget about it, and once they find out their whole fireplace is messed up, it's
overwhelming.
It's overwhelming, and then they just leave the leaky chimney there, and be like, well, if you don't want to use your fireplace, it's totally fine, but get the leak fix, and they just don't ever get it done.
Well, it's not even just if it's leaking right then; it's the potential that, get that small crack fix in the crown, because it's gonna stop that crack from getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until now half of your crown is falling apart. So, it's preventative maintenance. It is ensuring that the expenses for the chimney are going to be kept lower going forward in the future, and just keeping an eye on what's going on. I mean, like, you should really have somebody up on your roof at least once a year, which is why if you have a masonry wood burning fireplace, we always suggest, yearly. Even if you only use it a couple times, doesn't mean you have to get it swept, But just having somebody get up there and giving you that eyes on your roof chimney could save you a shit ton of money in the future.
Well, yeah, inspections minimum. I tell people all the time when they call us, oh, I don't even use it. I'm like, well, we
Yeah.
live in the Midwest.
Yeah.
I'm like, things
Weather is
happen out
stupid.
there, and I guess to connect it in something they're more familiar with, like a car. If you have a car and you just leave it
Mhm.
parked there, is it going to run as good as a car that you run daily? No, it's going to
Or
be
is
different.
it going to rust out and the parts
Yeah.
are going to break or whatever the
Exactly.
situation
So
is?
like even like just using your car is better than not using it, but same thing fireplace, using it than not using it's also better, but at least inspecting it, because you can't see
Yeah. That would
what
be
the
my.
weather's doing.
I mean, the average inspection around here goes from anywhere from if you Google online, they say $99 to get in the door, but that ain't the case, friends. They get walk in your door, and the minute they step foot inside your fucking living room, you're up at
$50 for us to put a ladder and you got it, right?
$300. But a regular, we charge $195. That's what we charge for an inspection, and we charge $295 for the sweep. So there are companies that charge less. There are companies that charge substantially more. And here at Chimney Bear, we cannot speak for anybody else other than the companies that we have worked with in the past and know that some of them do get up on the roof, some of them do not get up on the roof, some of them use proper cameras, some of them do not. So we go based on our own experience and then what our customers have expressed to us. So we're inside now, right? We've come inside
We're
to
changing it
continue
up,
the
yes.
inspection. So now what are we doing on the inside, friends?
Looking at the fireplace.
Looking at the fireplace. So there's only one way for us to look inside the actual flue itself, like inside, right?
You have to use the camera. Like
Any like I can just go get my phone camera and look in there, or
No, you either use a camera that rotates 360. There's numerous brands out there, and or
well, we have 3 different brands, right? So
we have 3 different.
we have used
Well, we have 4, but we have the cell phone case thing that we don't even use anymore. It's
right
in the corner of our shop.
But that was like beginning. But we bought first the Chim Scan.
Chim Scan, yes.
Yeah.
Then we went to Snap.
Then we went to Snaplock. And then we recently at the 2023 convention, National Chimney Guild convention in Connecticut, props Mohegan Sun, props.
Yes.
We purchased the inspection fire camera that is the GoPro inside this really cool case that looks like a weed whacker on the outside, which FYI yet again invented by like a 12-year-old, sorry if you're not 12, I can't remember exactly, 12, 13-year-old son of the man who owns Inspection Fire.
Yeah, that was awesome. We haven't got to use it yet. It's been kind of collecting dust, but you have to use a camera.
It's only been here for like a couple weeks.
Yeah. We'll get to it. You want to look at the smoke chamber and the flue, because you have to look directly at those joints, because by just looking at the flue from the bottom with your own eyes, you're not going to be able to see. Sometimes you might be able to see cracked tiles, maybe the couple first tiles, but you need to see if there's any thermal shock to those tiles or any of those mortar joints.
Well, last time I checked, it's pretty dark inside your chimney. So unless you are a contortionist and you can fit your head through the damper with a flashlight, I'm pretty sure you definitely need to run it up all the way up the flue.
You have to run it up all the way. You have to check. We found some really messed up stuff all the way on top. You'll be surprised what kind of shenanigans we find between the top 2 tiles. Right?
But that's the best place to find it because you can just reach down and remortar it.
Well, exactly. Yeah, I mean, we found places where there was just literally 5-6 inches between tiles, and you can just see inside the chase.
We've found like flue tile, nothing, bricks,
Nothing.
flue tile.
Yeah.
Just this big empty cavity in between.
Yeah, you gotta run it up and get as much information as you can. I mean, you already spent all this time setting up. Might as well just spend those extra few minutes, or whatever many minutes, to run the whole length all the way up to the top tile.
So the smoke chamber is that area that's like pyramid shaped directly above the firebox, right?
Yeah, it's that transition between the firebox and
That's kind of where the drafting all kind of stops at. That's like the place where the magic happens that grabs the smoke from the fire and then like sends it up.
Goes back
Yeah.
up, hits that smoke shelf, or supposedly hits that smoke shelf and goes back up the flue.
So, I know that as far as we're concerned, that area has to be parched smooth, right?
Yeah, you can't have any exposed bricks or any other flues. You shouldn't be able to see other flues, which sometimes we do find other flues, either it is for the other fireplaces or below, or
because it makes it unsafe. Because they found, right, the reason that they here in Illinois anyway, I'm assuming it would work the same everywhere else, that the reason that the smoke chamber, because they didn't used to have the codes, right, that the smoke chamber,
2007.
right, so they switched it because when they were having house fires, chimney fires, or whatever the situation is, they were finding that just because people didn't understand how to maintain their fireplaces, like how often it should be cleaned, how often it should be inspected, that's where the majority of the chimney fires were starting from, because of the fact that the creosote had built up so much and the sparks are so close.
Yeah, well, with exposed corbel brick, you just have so many potential gaps and cracks where that smoke and heat can penetrate.
Yeah.
And go into the chimney structure.
Or into the house, right?
Yeah, well, exactly. It goes into, because you probably have some kind of framing somewhere around the chimney, and they can catch on fire to the framing, and then from there, just the rest of the house.
Right. Well, I mean, so when it comes to the flue, we want to make sure that the flue is safe as well, right? Because the sparks travel up, they go out the top of the rain cap / spark arrestor. And if there's, say, because flues are essentially built, because maybe people don't understand this, even people in our industry, like a masonry flue is a 2-foot flue tile, which is either round or rectangular or whatever shape, square, oval. And so the masons themselves, before building the external structure of the brick and mortar, they have to put these flue tiles in, right? Or I guess they keep going as they go up.
Yeah.
But they go flue tile, mortar, and they keep stacking them on top till it's at the top there, right? And then obviously you see the last one hanging out the top. But, we've found in our inspection new build homes that the fireplaces are unsafe just based on the fact that the masons or whoever was mixing their mortar that day decided that they were not going to put an adequate amount, and they were just now flue tile on flue tile with big gaps in between.
Yeah, there's like barely any mortar between the tiles, which is mind-boggling why they're doing that. Just laziness. I think that's what it is.
They don't just magically stick together.
No, I mean they'll stand.
They're not Legos, bitch. Like, what do you think?
They'll stand on top of each other, but
they will.
They won't stop any of the heat.
See,
and
there
smoke
you
penetration.
go. Why don't they make them like Legos?
Ooh, another idea. No.
Maybe they should.
Oh, they're plastic, so they'll melt.
You need the innie and the outie.
That would be very expensive.
Like a Howard Floors, right? When they have
click together floors.
Snap lock flue tiles.
No,
I don't know. There's still probably something.
We're not trying to be offensive to any masons out there. We don't discriminate. We appreciate your hard work. You build beautiful chimneys. We work with some great masons who do excellent work. But I will tell you that there's a lot of chimney people out there that think sometimes maybe you shouldn't have come to work hungover that day when building a chimney. But anyway.
Details.
So to recap with the inspection, the reason that we want to do the inspection yearly is to make sure that we have a great idea of what's going on the external structure and to see the progression over time. And the reason that we want to do the internal structure is because we want to make sure your fireplace and chimney is safe to use, even if it's your first time or your fifth time, like 5 years down the road. These things are natural materials and they can deteriorate, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
So
when you light the fire, you want to make sure everything is
good to go. Excuse me. So now the best part, the part where they used to send the children up with the little, I like to call them like umbrella wire brushes, because we don't really use wire brushes anymore except for cleaning the smoke shelf and the firebox. But like we use mechanical brushes, right?
Well, yeah, it's power sweeping, so we use drills. They're spinning brushes, and they're all plastic, poly.
The rods.
Well, the rods and the brushes. The bristles themselves are. I mean, we do have metal attachment to kind of deal with a little bit with the glazing.
Yeah, the whips and stuff. Yeah, we just bought a whole new amazing little set from Rod Station, right?
Yeah.
And Rod Station, we got that at the convention as well.
Yeah.
And they have one distributor here in the United States, and we can link it, but like I can't remember where they're located.
I actually don't know.
But Rod Station rods are from the UK.
Originally from UK, but they open up like Rod Station USA.
And they're pretty colors, which is what actually the reason that I stopped there was because it had that like little springy, jiggly purple. Was it purple? And I was like, what is that thing? And then Matt got all enamored with the attachments that do all crazy nesting, squirrely things. So.
The nest removal and the rod retraction tool, yes.
And the tool that he wanted to get for when they drop shit down the chimney.
That's what I'm talking about, the rod extraction tool.
Yeah.
If you ever drop the rod, you don't have to go all the way down and pull it out through inside. You can just
have we used that yet?
Not yet.
No.
What about the rods?
Yeah, they use them. Aren't they using them now?
I know Matt took them, but
I'm sure he's using them.
I didn't ask him.
Yeah, we got them, so
we have them, but we also have other rods that we've used. But I mean, sometimes they break. Sometimes they don't.
They've been pretty good. The ones we break are when we break tiles because it's a lot more aggressive work than just sweeping. I don't think. No, we've broken a couple rods sweeping. I did it, but some of our guys did. But it occasionally happens. Overall, both of the companies are pretty happy so far.
Yeah, good. So when we're sweeping, we kind of found this out the hard way, right? Because you guys you cover the whole fireplace opening with plastic, right?
We do, yes.
And then you cut a small opening so that you can stick the brush in with the rods, and then the vacuum can run in there as well, right? So do you want to tell me why we decided to do plastic covering after like the first couple months we were open?
We're there to clean people's fireplaces and sweep. I'm sorry, and we're not there to make a mess, right? And it's a lot easier to control the dust when you have
and the creosote, right?
Yeah, because it gets
because that shit is soot and it stains your face, your clothes, your furniture.
And stuff.
Yeah, and it's not healthy for you either.
No, you shouldn't be breathing that way. Like our guys don't wear masks when they do sweeping because there's literally no particles flying in the room. Everything is inside the fireplace, firebox, and the internals, and then the vacuum picks up everything because we put the nozzle right by the hole.
Because we have a special vacuum because we use the Snap Lock, magical 7,000 suction-y HEPA filtered, whatever that situation was for like $5,000. Yes, I remember that. That don't stay on their little rolly carts, FYI.
It broke. Yeah, that way we could completely control the dust. So first of all, guys don't have to wear masks because there's no dust flying out, and we don't have to worry about any of the dust landing on any of the people's stuff, couches, whatever.
And we sweep it from inside unless it's absolutely impossible. Like I know some stoves that we clean or sweep, we have to do it from the top. Sometimes there's a damper assembly that we can't get through because I know that there's been a couple times in the masonry fireplace that we had to do it from the top.
Sometimes when we run into like some of the glazing and stuff, it's just easier to do it from the top, and then we don't even cut the hole out till later.
But that's a completely different, like we're talking about mechanical deglazing, and that's a completely different topic.
Yeah, there you go.
For another day.
For another
next
day.
Time.
So listen to that part. We also, when we're sweeping, we do the smoke chamber, and we use manual brushes to like, and this is when the boys would put their masks on because they're using the manual brushes to clean the smoke shelf, which you've said is like the most missed part
what
of
happens
the chimney.
is when you're sweeping the flue in the smoke chamber, majority of the stuff falls on the smoke shelf, and some of the stuff goes, because obviously it was open, goes into firebox, but a good portion of it goes in the smoke shelf, and
you use the vacuum, right, to like get up in there.
Yeah, we use the vacuum. I mean, it depends because sometimes you can't get the vacuum, and then you either push it out of there with a brush or a hand, or a lot of times you just kind of stick a hose up there from the vacuum and get as much as possible. You're not gonna be able to get all of it, but you're really trying to get that potential flammable fuel that just sits there.
Corrosive, everything,
Yeah.
blah blah blah.
And the smell. You want to get rid of it because if there's ever like a rain and a low pressure and the draft's coming down the flue, it'll get right past that stinky stuff, just sits within the smoke shelf. And that campfire smell will just come inside.
Gross. It's so gross. I hate that smell.
It's delicious.
Yeah.
It's
I
the
hate
best
that
smell in the
smell. I
world.
hate it. That's why, well, for another podcast, you need the lock top damper. But, okay. So, really, you always, just to recap everything, you want to look for our customers or potential customers or current customers that would be hanging out, listening to this for whatever reason. You always want to find a client or a company that is going to get up on your roof to double check everything up there during their inspection. They are using a camera that can go internally all the way up the chimney flue. Sometimes that's 6 feet, sometimes that's 40 feet, but they need to be able to get every tile in a picture. And you also want to make sure that when they're cleaning that they're covering any opening with plastic. They have tarps down on your carpet or floors, and that they are cleaning the entire or sweeping the entire fireplace, which does include the smoke chamber, the smoke shelf, and your firebox.
Yes.
And all of that for the best price you can get, which is not $99.
You're not gonna get that.
For $99, you ain't getting that shenanigans. You might think that you got that shenanigans, but you didn't.
We came out to do inspection, and people said they paid that $199 or $99 or $129, and you could see just all this creosote build up. And it's like there's no evidence of anything
Any
inside
cleaning
this floor at all, because you can see.
All you have to do is read the reviews on companies. If you go and click on the Google listing and you go to the lowest review and you start reading, I guarantee you that those people will be saying the exact same thing, right? So you have to really do your research when it comes to this kind of stuff.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
Bringing back old segments here to the new segments. I like it.
Well, true enough.
It's all connected. Everything's connected, everyone.
Everything is awesome.
It's a chimney sweep life.
Then that's all you could sing of that song.
That's all. We like to sing here,
That's
but no, you're only because then they can come after you. You have to be very careful with what kind of things you're singing
We're just saying everything is awesome in a song format.
Is that even like a thing? Is that trademarked somewhere?
The whole song, the whole movie, maybe, yeah.
What movie is that from?
The Lego movie. This is 2 Lego references in one.
I don't even know. I didn't even know. I had no idea that it was from a Lego movie.
There you go. We're educating
It's like
everyone, even including ourselves.
It's 1 billion degrees outside, I think. This is the perfect day for doing chimney sweeps. You know what's nice about chimney sweeps? They have great tans.
On their arms and their necks.
And then Andrey goes on vacation in December to somewhere warm, and he has farmer's tans everywhere. That's right, because your legs are white, but your arms are like from here to here.
Well, my shoulders are white, but my arms and my elbows are brown.
Just remember, friends, as coming into the summer season of all things masonry and chimneys, just make sure you wear a boonie hat and put some sunscreen on. And hydrate,
water,
yes, because we're in the military here. We wear boonie hats and we hydrate, being as we're veteran owned.
Hydrate with water, not soda.
Yes, water. And also those cool things. What were they called again that we bought? IV, hydration, whatever.
Yeah.
They make the propel. Remember we talked about
they
it in the
do.
packets. You can add it to your water.
They do.
Electrolytes and
Stay cool, friends.
Cool.
Any questions? Any comments? Whatever the situation is, you can leave it down below, and we'll have our aficionado chimney sweep here, Andrey Turchin, download to his brain and give you all the answers, because he's an encyclopedia of chimneys. Any last questions or comments, Ben?
Sweep your shit.
Sweep your shit.
Sweep your shit.
Or, mostly important, inspect your shit.
Yeah.
And from the boss over here,
safety first.
Safety first, friends. Remember, OSHA is an important thing in life. And if you don't do what they want you to do, they'll come get your ass. Surprise, bitches! Yeah, yes. That's how it works. And from me here in Chimney Bear / Corgi Land, I hope that you stay cool, stay hydrated, and, support the bear. Goodbye.
Bye bye.
Bye.